Good, happy Friday morning, October 30th, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Friday morning, so let's begin. But first, we are going to begin with the storm watch right now. We are having some light accumulation of snow. Yes, snow in October. So let's take a listen to this weather video from meteorologist Mike Haddad.
Thank you very much for joining us, Stormwatch 9 Weather on the Web. I'm meteorologist Mike Haddad, tracking rain and, yes, even the first snow of the season for many overnight tonight into Friday morning. So that leads our weather headlines. A light accumulation for many, coating inch or two and even a bit more in the higher elevations of the Monadnock region, and then mostly dry for the weekend, cold to start and milder to finish. The remnants of Hurricane Zeta racing off to our east, the actual center of circulation southeast of Atlantic City early on Thursday evening. And as that pulls away, the steady beneficial rain begins to give way to the next system quickly racing in behind it. And with that, just enough cold air for a transition from rain to wet snow. So the timetable goes as such. By midnight 2 a.m., we're going to start to see that chilly rain transitioning over to a mix and then wet snow. First, north, and in the higher elevations, last to see the changeover for southern parts of the state, south of the Queen City near the coast, and in the lower elevations. But for the morning commute, looks like a snowy situation, wet snow, anywhere from the Lake Sunapee zone, Hanover, Lebanon, down through the Monadnock region, and into the Merrimack Valley with a slushy mix and wet snow near the coastline. By very late morning or midday, the snow shuts down, sun goes to work up north, and that clearing quickly takes over elsewhere during the course of the afternoon. Clear and very cold tomorrow night, teens and 20s, and a lot of...
Okay, it looks like we're having a little technical difficulty with the weather video.
By very late morning or midday, the snow shuts down, sun goes to work up north, and that clearing quickly takes over elsewhere during the course of the afternoon. Clear and very cold tomorrow night, teens and 20s, and a lot of sun, 30s and 40s during the day on Saturday. In terms of snow, not a whole lot, but just enough to possibly slush up the roads in the lower Merrimack Valley for the morning commute and make roads snow covered, especially in the higher elevations from, say, Lake Sunapee down through Washington and also back through Peterborough and Jaffrey. So in a good part of the Monadnock region, the higher elevations, roads could certainly get dicey. Lower chance elsewhere, but can't rule it out completely as our temperatures will be down near 32 degrees. So again, a coating to an inch or two for many and a little bit more in the higher terrain of western New Hampshire. Highs behind this, upper 30s to near 40, so rapid improvement on the roads if they are slushy or snow-covered by midday into the afternoon. And then cold tomorrow night. For Halloween Saturday, sunshine, 30s and 40s from north to south, some sun, but increasing clouds Sunday with a spot afternoon shower. And don't forget, we fall back to standard time late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, officially at 2 a.m. Windy with a few flakes up north and cold on Monday, even colder on Tuesday for Election Day and early morning flurry. Otherwise, partial sunshine, some sun and milder Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay, and there you go. And that was your weather video from meteorologist Mike Haddad. Thank you for that weather report, Mike Haddad. And now let's get to your news. Let's begin First up with your COVID-19 updates. COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 10,768 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 8,922,632 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 482 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 775 number of people have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 370 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. And now let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. In Nashua, 76. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Nashua, 1191. And now let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple. Daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In orange, new hospitalization. In red, deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases in the purple. Total current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalization. Let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases in the purple. Total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalization. Red, deaths. And blue, recovered. Let's take a look at this chart here. Positive PCR test rate and daily PCR test. Let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. Let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And a reminder, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, difficult breathing, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. For more COVID-19 deaths announced as community transmission increases, health officials say. Rate of infections up while hospitalizations remain low. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Now is the time to add another Chevy to your driveway at Bentley Chevrolet. Buy a new 2020 Chevy Silverado 4x4 LT Double Cab All-Star Edition pickup, nicely equipped, just $38,492.
New Hampshire numbers are ticking up. 3 counties now with substantial community spread, and officials are closely watching trends.
A lot of these states here, 6 weeks ago, we're back here. They were having 1 or 2% positivity just 6 weeks ago, and so we're very concerned. And so this is some of the predictive analytics that we try to use in terms of seeing where other states have gone and potentially where we could go as well.
Testing continues to increase. The state rolling out a first responder optional screening test, or the FROST program, that will be used for other groups of people in the coming weeks. The uptick in overall numbers is concerning to long-term care facilities that have now moved back to earlier phases to protect that population. Community spread is at the core.
Early on, a lot of the risk factors for acquiring this virus really was travel and outbreak related, particularly outbreaks at long-term care facilities. Through a lot of hard work on the part of the long-term care facilities, congregate living settings, public health, doing contact tracing, implementing the testing programs, many of those outbreaks have been brought under control. And the primary risk factors right now that we're seeing really are close contact to another person with COVID-19. That highlights the fact that, 1, this virus is very easy to spread person to person. 2, it requires, close contact. And thirdly, people need to be taking the precautions and avoiding close contact with other people.
So face coverings, social distancing, and avoiding gatherings when you can are critical. Meantime, tomorrow, on-ice activities, including hockey, start again, and the state will be looking at the data from those positive test results from anyone associated with hockey to see if there are any trends. We're live in Concord. Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire restaurants required to collect patrons' contact information. Governor says information will be used to help COVID-19 contact tracing investigations. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Siobhan Lopez.
What is sucrose intolerance? Are you suffering with unresolved IBS-like symptoms such as bloating, gas, or diarrhea? Could it be sucrose intolerance?
Patrons of New Hampshire restaurants will soon have to give at least one name and phone number per party. The proposal is straight from restaurant owners to streamline the contact tracing process and avoid the public announcements that have been made by DHHS when trying to identify customers when a positive case is discovered.
Clearly that created a great deal of concern from the industry that, now we're making this huge impression that, restaurants aren't safe to dine at.
Evan Mallett, chef and owner of Black Trumpet in Portsmouth, says it's something his restaurant has already been doing.
We have very little walk-in business anymore, so whenever we take a reservation, it comes with a phone number. We've known from the beginning of this mess that we would be able to trace people if it came to that.
Officials weigh in on how this will be received.
Is it a little bit of a challenge for the industry? Yes, it is. Does it certainly create a little bit of pushback from our customers? We suspect it likely will.
I don't think we're looking to send police out to restaurants who aren't doing it. Would probably lean on the restaurant association to work with their membership to ensure that it's being done exactly as they designed it.
Mallett says most are willing to put any safety measures in place to stay open.
We are already in big trouble, and there's no way to candy coat that anymore. We're doing our best. We're keeping our heads down.
Restaurants have been instructed to keep this information for 21 days and not use it for any kind of marketing purposes. The rule goes into effect this Saturday. Reporting in Manchester, Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Creative options available for safely celebrating Halloween. Candy shoots, Google Map point way for safe trick-or-treating. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Kristen Carosa.
It comes. Halloween this year, health officials say common sense is key. They say wear a mask, social distance, carry hand sanitizer, and avoid indoor gatherings.
People can, I think, trick or treat in a reasonably safe way, and we encourage people to do so in small groups, ideally with other people who are normal, close household contacts.
Because of the pandemic, many candy givers are opting for unique ways to interact with trick-or-treaters.
I'm a kid. I never grew up. And we enjoy giving the candy to the kids. And this year we had to be special because of the COVID-19.
Lucian Trudeau and his wife Anne constructed this candy chute in Manchester, which allows them to safely social distance. In Rochester, Mike Frazier wanted to make sure people knew about these types of options. So he put out a survey asking if people were giving out candy, and if so, how.
Are they offering candy? Will it be contactless or more of a traditional handout of candy method?
Then he put together a Google Map link which breaks down houses into different categories.
They actually now have a really good reference guide to go by. So that's, I'm really happy that we're seeing the results that we're seeing, and I'm hoping it's going to be very useful for families throughout the community area.
Trick-or-treating here in Rochester will take place on Friday night between 5 and 7:30 p.m. Head to our website, WMUR.com, so you can check out the link that Mike created. Reporting in Rochester, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Trump Jr. campaigns for his father in New Hampshire while Presley hits Granite State Trail for Biden. President's son says he's confident Trump will be reelected. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Adam Sexton.
Now is the time to add another Chevy to your driveway at Bentley Chevrolet. Buy a new 2020 Chevy Silverado 4x4 LT Double Cab All-Star Edition pickup, nicely equipped, just $38,492.
The Trump campaign continues to pound the pavement in New Hampshire. These are images provided by the Republican Victory Office of Donald Trump Jr., stumping for the president, his father, on Thursday. And in a one-on-one interview with News 9, he made the case for 4 more years in the White House.
Honestly, it's accomplishment. Compare Joe Biden's 47 years in the Washington, D.C. swamp. Name a single accomplishment, but if you can't, it's sort of part of the problem.
The Democratic nominee came under withering criticism from the president's eldest son, particularly over how a potential Biden administration would handle the COVID-19 pandemic.
Joe Biden, let's just shut down the world. Let's shut down the world. You put a mask on, you stay in your house for 3 years. Your kids stay at home, they can learn off an iPhone for 5 minutes a day. It's not realistic.
Trump Jr. rejects the idea that the president is losing ground in the race, as he says at campaign rallies that America is turning the corner on a pandemic that shows increasing viral spread in several states.
Look at Europe and look at America right now. They talk about infection rates in America are going up. Yeah, because they're testing 1,000 times more than they were a month ago. So you pick up more of it. But if you look at actual death rates, the number no one in the media wants to talk about, it's almost nothing. Because the therapeutics, because of the advancements in the treatment that we've been able to figure this thing out.
Democrats knocked Trump Jr.'s visit today, saying, quote, he won't have answers for any of the issues that Granite State voters care about. But the president's son dismisses that, saying it's the Democratic Party that is increasingly out of touch with everyday Americans.
This Democrat Party isn't your grandparents' Democrat Party. They no longer represent those people. They're worried about, the 9,276 genders rather than jobs for Americans.
In Manchester, Adam Sexton, WMUR, News 9.
On the seacoast, Massachusetts Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley made the case for Democratic nominee Joe Biden. Speaking to students at UNH to a Get Out the Vote event in Portsmouth, she says the current issues in America are a continuation of the civil rights movement.
This administration is one of cruelty, corruption, and callousness. And what we deserve and what we need and will have in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is an administration that leads with compassion, that are committed to progress, who are real partners, and who will be held accountable. Something that has not happened with this administration.
Congresswoman Pressley encouraged supporters who might be feeling weary to keep working, pointing out it's just a matter of days to the election.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and thank you for joining us for this edition of the Riley King Newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.